Hi guys, are Reform UK lying charlatans or are they just incompetent? Or is it a bit of both? So Richard Tice was asked about propaganda leafleting that was sent out ahead of the local elections, making promises that Reform later denied were actually promises. It was about council tax. Have a listen to this. Now, before we start, I want to thank my friend Regan Elite for sending me a copy of the leaflets that are being referenced here.
Not often I have to correct your headlines, Stig, but
go on.
The headline there that said we promised to bring council tax bills down is simply untrue and has to be corrected. We said we would save money. I'll be giving a press conference in 2 weeks' time about that, but you must correct that untruth.
The Warwickshire leaflet, we're talking about the local council, the Warwickshire leaflet.
We didn't say we'd bring the council tax bills down, but having put that on the record, I'm happy to move on.
No, you said, well, I've got, the Times quotes the leaflets. The Warwickshire Reform Party leaflet said, we will cut your taxes. The Worcestershire Party leaflet said, we will reduce waste and cut your taxes. That sounds like promises to cut taxes to me.
We very clearly said at the campaigns that we would save waste, we would cut wasteful spending, and that's what we'll be talking about. We did not promise.
Sorry, I'm saying there's two leaflets from two reform campaigns in local elections, one in Warwickshire, one in Worcestershire, and they say the phrase "cut your taxes."
Richard. Those leaflets, bills, but we specifically we never said that at the party leadership level. So I just want that to be corrected.
But at the local level, which is where indeed local elections take place, the leaflet said we will cut your taxes in Warwickshire, and in Worcestershire said they will cut your taxes. What I'm saying to you.
Then you send me those leaflets, because I'm telling you that Nigel and I, we very clearly said we will cut waste, we will cut wasteful spending, unproductive spending. We'll give an update on that in 2 weeks' time.
The danger is that
he almost said cut your taxes, and then he realised better not say that because we already said that, and that's why I'm in trouble. So what he's trying to suggest also is, well, it was a decision taken at the local level. We didn't support it at the national level, but it was a local election. Nigel Farage was at these local elections campaigning on behalf of the candidates. This has nothing to do with, you can't dismiss this as, well, that was a local decision. No, it was a decision taken by the hierarchy. It was taken by Nigel. Nigel Farage signs off on all of this. Nobody can push a policy unless it has been passed by Reform UK HQ. Now, once again, thanks to Regan Elite for sending me these. This is one of these pamphlets, I believe. You can see there, freeze immigration and stop the boats, scrap net zero to cut your energy bills, reduce waste and cut your taxes. With a big picture there of Nigel Farage. Obviously, signed off by Nigel Farage. Here's another one. Reform will fix it, reduce council waste and to help cut your taxes. Reduce council waste to help cut your taxes. Slash red tape to boost local businesses, protect and enhance your local green spaces. And a big picture of Nigel Farage once again. Now, what Reform will do in response to this, of course, will say, look, this was a decision taken at the local, nothing to do with us. Or they'll say, it was a mistake. Let's move on. It was an error. It was a typo. It won't happen again. But we have this. This is Swindon Council. Swindon Council is broken. Reform will fix it. This is for the next election, as you can see, on the 7th of May, 2026. Vote Reform UK. And what does it say? Cut wasteful spending, end net zero vanity projects so we can freeze council tax. So maybe they're being a little bit more sly. We're not going to cut council tax, but we'll freeze it. They're lying charlatans. That's what they are. Reform UK, Nigel Farage, Richard Tice, all of them. They're trying to pull the wool over people's eyes at the local level and at the national level. Telling people at the local level, we're going to cut your taxes. We're the only party that will cut your council tax. And then they get in, and then the councillors in Reform realise, actually, we can't do that. We're actually going to have to do the opposite. We're going to have to increase council tax. Not even freeze it. Not even get in and say, look, actually, we were wrong. We're not going to reduce it. We're actually going to freeze it. No, we're actually going to increase it to the level of 10% in some cases in some Reform councils, because they don't understand the reality on the ground. They don't understand the reality of the situation. I have been saying till I'm blue in the face, till I have no hair left, tearing it out. The cost for councils is rising all the time. For example, adult social care. The cost of that is going up. The population is getting older, so more people are relying on the services that the councils have to provide. So councils need more money. If central government doesn't give them enough, or they can't make the savings themselves, they have to increase council tax. That's the reality of the situation. There are obligations on councils that they have to follow through with. There are obligations on things they have to provide. Reform can't get around that. They can rant and rave about immigration and council or hotels for accommodation for asylum seekers as much as they want, but they can't get away from the realities that councils need to provide certain services, and they're restricted on what they can do when it comes to cuts. They can pretend that they're going to make massive savings, but as we've seen, as soon as they get in, they realize they can't. So they're being extremely dishonest, and they need to be called out. And kudos to those who have done that, because if they're not called out, the public will believe that they are a reasonable alternative to Labour and the Conservatives. And they're not. They're a joke. And while when people voted for Boris Johnson because he was a bit of a clown, they soon realised actually it was a bad idea having somebody like this as Prime Minister. And if people vote for reform because they're a bit funny or a bit strange or a bit rough around the edges, well, they're soon going to find out that it was a massive mistake. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.